progressive web apps. So today we are going to talk about progressive web apps in Sitecore, how we can do that, integration within Sitecore. So we should actually create, better web experience using the modern technologies. Okay. Coming to myself is Sudhir Kumar Sudgu. I'm currently working with Kimberly Clark. I'm currently having total 14 years of experience, and I'm working in Sitecore since last 9 years. And I got Sitecore certified, and I also got uh, Sitecore MVP in technology category in the last year, 2025. And you guys can connect to me in the LinkedIn, and this is my blog, Tiki Ticker, where you can check the latest articles on Sitecore. Okay, coming to the topic, what are PWAs? PWAs are nothing but like progressive web apps. So the name itself is saying the app for the web. So it means how we have that mobile app, right? Similar way, we also have a app that can be created for the website. So whenever you have any website, when you enable this progressive web apps, we can create as a shortcut icon, like how we have like Outlook, how we have like Teams, like browsers. So similar way, we can have that app created as an icon on our desktop, and we can even access that site. So with this, we can have a user no need to remember uh, like URLs every time. It also create better engagement because we're actually able to provide because it will be very handy for them to access the site and all the applications for that. So here. And here this also can be worked in offline. See, sometimes in some use cases, we have a requirements to they want to use the site. In some areas, they don't have accessibility to the internet. In that case, also we are able to use it with some of the service workers. Using that, we can also achieve that functionality to work it in offline functionality also. Okay. And in this, we push notification can also be enabled using this. Like when you open any website, right, you see that send notifications. When you click on allow, from the browser itself, it will keep prompting your notifications, right? So that also we can even configure through this. And like see, now whenever we wanted to use anything, right? Like if we wanted to install any app, we actually use for iOS, we have to use App Store. For Google, it is Play Store. We have to use that App Store to download any of the apps. But here, there is no app, any App Store is required. We can directly install that from our website itself. Okay, respective website itself. And obviously, this all these sites are nowadays are responsive. So so all this also will support the uh, user experience in the various device viewports. What are the benefits of using the PWAs? So in this, actually, we actually use caching mechanism. So obviously, when we use the caching mechanism, it eventually reduces the load on the server, and at in directly it actually improve the speed of the application, and it also create a smoother experience actually. Here, as I said, right, we actually send the push notifications, right? So whenever we actually have the push notification that we enable on that, so we can have the user interaction. So we always engage users. So suppose if you have any of the apps, some you see some of the news apps, they keep prompting for any news is there. They will push a notification. It will keep engaging them with all the news that is there. So we can have that kind of user experience also. We can also set up using these apps. And here actually, so for if you are actually looking at the mobile apps, right, for we have to implement a separate code for app store for mobile for sorry for iOS apps for few different code for Android. But nowadays we got a single app, but yeah, with a different API and all. But now here we don't have that coding separately. We have to do any coding for any kind of different browsers or platforms. So with the regular common code changes only, we can able to achieve this functionality across all the platforms. And here, here we can also search in Google. Like if you enter PWA plus what is the site that you gave that it will also give us that if any of the site is enabled with PWS, I think that will also come in as part of the search engines. Now coming to the how PDS will be used in, no, how we can use it in Sitecore. So basically, Sitecore, in all the modules, like it could be XM, XP, XM in cloud or headless, JSS. We can also have this integrating to this PWS, and here also with this, actually, we can also pass the content. Suppose if you have a multi-site applications, in that if you wanted to enable PWA for a few applications, if you don't want to enable the few applications, that can also be controlled and handled through the our content-driven structure like in the CMS systems. So service workers, which I told, right? Basically, this is a service worker. So for any of the website to work, right, we should have IS running, right? In terms of like whenever we actually, as I said, right, when we actually in the offline mode also we can able to support it. Obviously, there would be some service that would be run behind the application to host and make the application running. So for that, we have a thing called service worker, which I can explain in the demo. So that is a browser functionality. So which that would enable you to make the application running even when there is no internet. In such cases, that we can able to achieve that using the service workers. And in this, we also have a metadata, like how we have like a metadata for applications. So in this, for this app also, we have a metadata that we can go in detail in further slides. As I said, it manifest file. So this is to maintain the metadata for this application, we should have a manifest.json. This is a very important file because it actually contains all the metadata information for the PWA apps, and like all the information, what and how it would render, what the theme that should apply, colors, and naming, and all those information will be there. We can talk about in the further slides. So as I said, right, service workers, which is actually helping us to achieve the offline functionalities. And also it will also help us in running the applications in the PWS also. So this is working all the way for all the purpose. So this is also we will register the service worker in a browser. Okay, and obviously, as I said, right, this will also help us to work in offline capabilities as well. I'll talk about that further. So obviously, for anything to have this PW enabled, we should have HTTPS enabled for all for the arts website because it would only communicate with the secure authentic communication here. Okay, so that is mandatory to have the site with HTTPS. And as I said, that we can directly integrate, these PWA apps with Sitecore, and then we can get the information from the CMS systems, and with that we can able to handle based on the website. So this is the manifest file. If you see on the right hand side, this is the sample file of a manifest file, how it basically looks like. So it actually have certain parameters. It will be in a JSON format file, and it shall have different values. If you look at what and every parameter, what it majorly it looks like, but all the parameters are not required. But with this things, we can also achieve to get the this one. But these are actually required to have uh, app to be working. Okay, name, actually the name of the app what we wanted to have when install the app and all. So there's a short name, and if you wanted to have a description for the app, what is the app description and all. This is the theme color. So I will go from here. So start URL, this is the start URL of the application. So we have the start URL. So suppose if you're actually having the we have when we host any website, right, in the site definitions we'll be having the start URL of the application, right? So in this, if you wanted to have all the pages to be part of that and the app to be have, then we will be have this slash. Suppose if you wanted to have any dedicated pages, not the whole site to be part. Suppose you have some tools in the website, some finders, or some product finders, or some calculators, but we have a requirement to host the calculators in the PWA because they wanted to do some calculations. So for that, we actually enable it. So similarly, like, we might be having some of the tools in the website. So if you wanted to have only PWA to enable for that, we can also have this slash to that. Okay, and display standalone. So this is the type of the display mode, how you wanted, a full screen or minimal UI browser. So whatever you want, you can set it based on that. Suppose when this is the background color, what the background color that you wanted. So on the launch of app, what color you wanted to keep it, it would show, but it would not show much, but yeah, it will be the splash. It's a couple of very minute seconds. Okay, a theme color. So how we have the address bar, right? So theme color. So for the address bar, so how we have wanted to have this. This is as I said, right? That's icon. So when you open Outlook and all, we have that bar and all, right? So similarly, we also have this. We can also set the color and all icons. So for this will create an icon on the website, sorry, on our desktop. So how you wanted to enable that icon names and all, when we launch also it will show those icons. So what are the dimensions and all, we'll keep it. But this is a very crucial. If the asset image icon path is not working, then it will not let you to access the app. So this is very important for the image, uh, and also it will within the required dimensions only. Then only it will work. Okay, otherwise it will not work. Okay, orientation, like how we have a portrait mode, landscape mode, how we want, we can able to handle it. Coming to the scope, suppose as I said, right, suppose if even though we have many website pages, but we don't want those pages to be accessed in that app, then we can also set the boundaries to the scope, for what and all the pages that we wanted to have, not all the pages. If you wanted to set any language and all, we can do that, but it's not mandatory. Description, what is the description of the app for a one liner or something. Suppose some of the applications for if you look at all the Arabic websites, so those are actually in the right to left, right? So that is also will be supported in this PWAs. In case if suppose this is a website, so many applications will have their website also. They have their mobile apps also. We can also refer those information here. Whether it is if it is there, then it is true. If it is not there, then it is false. In case if it is there, then we can also provide those information in the Play Store or App Store. The links can also be provided. But it's not mandatory. But what are the I actually mentioned the sample file? So those are the attributes are required for us to enable this on the site. Okay, coming to the demo. So actually I have enabled it on the home screen. So when you look at this is a normal website, right? So to make that PW enabled for this website, you see there is icon here. Okay, for many of the website we don't see it. Okay, this is the icon which would help us to install as a app. So already we are having the web experience. When you try to install it, it will prompt. So this is the name that we gave, and this is the icon which we gave, and it will ask us to install. When we click on install, the this web page will be moved from the browser and it will come into the web app. You see here that browser has been closed, and this is the app. Okay, so here that's the theming. This the name and all. So this is how we basically, looks like, we can have it in like how we host an app, right? And along with that, it will also create an icon, just bring an icon. So this is how the icon also got installed on my local. This is the demo PWA, which is nothing but like the name which we gave to that app. Uh, yeah. So this is how it will be. Suppose if you don't want, if you wanted to uninstall it, okay. For example, this is what uninstall. Okay, when you click on uninstall, it will uninstall and it will ask us to remove the app from the icon what we created. It that will also get uninstalled. If you look here, that will also got uninstalled. Okay, and again, let me open it. Again, can you look here? Right? So when I am trying to install it again, okay, now I closed it. Okay, and I have this icon got created again. Uh, so now, though I have the app, even I can open the app like this with this with that, and or else like suppose in case if we forget and we try to open the app in the browser, it will show because we already installed this, so it will actually we can with this app when we click on this, it will automatically open the app. Okay, so It means the browser will recognize whether that app is already downloaded or not downloaded. If it is downloaded, it will try to install it. If it is not, like, sorry, if it is already installed, it will try to open, it will show that, message from the browser. From that, we can able to open also in the app. Let me install it. Let me talk the implementation part. Okay. Okay, so now look here, right? So basically, this is the service worker. You see, this is the service worker which is actually getting locked, which we spoke at service worker. Before that, I will explain what are all the primary files that we need to do for make it enable. Okay, for any website, if you look here, right? So this will be any website. It could be nowadays in many of the modern applications like YouTube and any travel website, IRCTs everywhere. This is actually nowadays it's getting enabled. Okay. Even in the Windows forms also everywhere it will be actually seeing this enabled. Okay. The major thing that what is required here actually, manifest file. Okay. As we said, right, this is the manifest file. So you see here, this is the manifest which I actually created for the, for this app. So which we spoke, right? All of those information has been captured here. And apart from this, we also have few more things that we will be having it. So we have a thing called service worker. Okay. So this is the service worker file that we have to register here. So it means we are actually registering the service worker because we are letting the browser that this is the new service that I'm actually integrating into a browser, and we are actually providing those information here. Okay. And this is what the registration that we have to do it in the browser. So this is the file where that functionality about the, you know, implementation was there. This is the manifest file JSON, and this is a file. So here, let's go in details of this file. So this is actually, as I said, right, this is basically, we use caching mechanism here. So using that, we will have a good performance. So we'll mention the caching name, what is the cache name that we wanted. It can be any name. Okay, it's not anything specific. Here, slash we will be maintaining because it means we are actually anything after the site domain, that all the pages of that would be cached. Suppose if you are actually having to create any certain set of products, like suppose if you are having that, product brands, okay, then uh, the site name slash brand slash what are the name that is there, that you also we can able to do it instead of having the whole thing. Okay, that also we can do it. Okay, if you're not specifying anything, if you simply give slash, it means it will pre-cache all the item that is part of that particular site. Okay. And here, this is the one. So whenever we actually, when we actually loading for the first time, obviously it will try to cache everything in the system. When actually, once in the alternate time, actually it will try to pull everything from the caching from here. Okay. And suppose if we don't wanted to use it, and it will try to this event listener will help us to clean up the cache. Because obviously we have to frequently clean up our cache things, right? So this is how it will help actually. Okay. So once we have these only this configuration that is sufficient to make the site enable to this one. So once you make it, come to the log. So you see here, this actually it will try to show all the information on that logging and all. Coming to here applications, we have thing called service worker. Suppose coming to this manifest file. So this is the manifest file which we created, right? The demo, the one which we have here. Okay, so that one. That information will be captured here. All the information, what and all we gave, what and all icons, those whole information will be captured here. And this is the service worker which I'm talking about. If you look here, so see all registrations. Here, if you search for here, here it actually registered. Okay, if it is registered means then only it is running. So if you see here, registration status is activated and running status is running. So This is what, making our website to run. Okay. So because usually when we do it IIS, right, when you're directly click on app, directly it will read the access from this service worker and try to run it from here. Okay. And where to keep these files? So look here, right? So this is what in our site root. We can have this file in I actually kept it in the root node, but we can have a folder created, and we can also give it the like an appropriate path. But we need to ensure this path and all will be adjusted according to that. Okay. Uh, and I think that's all I have. This. Okay. Okay, one more thing I forgot to mention. So, okay, yeah. So I was talking about the offline functionality and all, right? So how can we achieve this? Okay. So here in the applications, we have a storage, sorry, we have index DB. In the index DB and we using the local storage and session storage, we can also configure this data information, and we can even set the value. Suppose if you're actually fetching, right? Or some if you're having some any of the functionalities, though those kind of information will be captured here and it will be stored in the index DB. We can create an instance for the index DB and we store all the information here. And with this, we can able to achieve the offline functionality. And sometimes, whenever we're actually trying to fill any form submissions or anything like that, um, we can have that form and we will be trying to, we can either use a local storage or index DB, and we can even store that particular information here. And when we have the internet back, and these will help us to push the data back to the server so that, you know, even when there is no network and all, we can also try to put some data and, or we can try to read the data that what we have, that and all can be achieved here. Coming to the notification, so we can use the Firebase. That how we what we use it for the mobile. Similar thing, we can also have the Firebase configured for this, and where through that we can have the notification enabled. Okay. Coming back to the presentation. Now, we see that, right? So now this is supported by various browsers, and different browsers. Things will be little way too different in installing the app actually. At my age. So here in this, we actually seen for the Chrome, for the app, for Safari, there is a thing called share icon on the top. When you click on that, and one second, I think I have the block into that. When you click on the share icon, it will automatically dock on your system. And it will how we have that in the add in the taskbar, right? In the bottom, it will try to do in that way. Okay. Um, Coming to this, so this is Safari. One second. Sorry, right? So we can able to dock and we can with this share icon we can add to the screen. But coming to the PWA for the Mozilla, we don't have that support. We have to use an extension, PWA for Firefox, and it will using that we can able to install and we can able to work with Mozilla. But by default, Edge and Chrome are actually supporting it. Even Safari is also doing how it will work in Edge. Here also it will show here. This is the one option where it will show install demo app. And one more thing, actually, we have more tools. And here we have apps. We can also install from here. So if you have any apps already installed, it will show from here. Okay, and install it again. This is also the same thing, but again, if you look here, right, I think it will also add. You see that even it got added here, but even under the this one, it will also ask whether you want to keep pin it in the task start. You want to create an desktop icon and all. It will be asking you. Okay. Um, Moving for so as I said for Safari, we can able to directly click on share button. We can able to install it. Coming to this, how what are the things that we need to consider when we are actually using this, right? So, as I mentioned, we should have HTTPS for the to ensure the security of the application, and we have to use caching mechanisms to optimize the caching. We can also cache the JavaScript files, CSS files also. Suppose if you wanted to achieve some specific functionality on the PWS, we can even configure it on the file which I showed you, right? So here we can do that caching mechanism for all the JS files and all those things. And we have to always need to ensure we all the manifest file and service worker files should be up to date, because sometimes what would happen when you keep opening the site, whenever you do any kind of JS or CSS changes, it won't reflect. Okay, in that times what we have to do, we have to uninstall it and reload the app again. So that is option number one. The other thing, because we can't do every time, like uninstalling and all those things. So we have to maintain a bundling concept of it, where you provide the versioning for the CS and KS file. Whenever there is any change in the deployment and all, those files will automatically get updated in the PW app as well. Okay. So as this I said, this is actually this support in various devices, and to ensure the compatibility for the and to provide a consistent user experience. So this actually is supporting all the browsers, all the devices. So here, so this actually also create a similar experience of app, but sorry, but it is not for the mobile. It is for the websites, uh, where we can have that icon installed, so that whenever they wanted to access anything, they can use this. So now, this as I said, right, this actually any supporting response, and also we can also have that um, notifications can be enabled, so that it will also engage the user. Suppose if you have any campaign running on the website, or if you have anything running, so that we can also send that notifications to the browser to the user. Okay, uh, because anyway the service worker is running, right? Using that we can able to send the details back to the browser. And here we actually use not this is how we actually say all the files under our reach, so we can easily able to do the deployment. Uh, One thing is, suppose I said, right, suppose if you wanted to have multiple website, we can also keep the checkboxes and enable the that manifest file and the worker file we can disable from the loading from the layout, so that we can restrict the access to the multiple website site. Suppose if they have multiple website, if you wanted to have only PW for certain web app, we can have that, like that way anyway, that is in full control within Sitecore ecosystem. Okay, and obviously having this enhanced user experience would obviously improve the user satisfaction. As I said, all the recent apps are actually moving towards this web apps in all the major applications now. I'm done with my demo the topic. If you have any questions, I think we are good to take it. Yeah, Praveen.
Yeah, hi, Sudhir. Hi, Sudhir. So, in past, we were working in one opportunity, and we face a challenges, something like that, tracking the user, the second, yeah. So, we were facing a challenges, something like that, tracking the user interaction over the pages, right? So
Mhm.
we were not able to capture the user interaction of exactly they were doing on a pages. So do you have any kind of a suggestion or any inputs how we can really achieve that one when we are working in offline mode? And I will tell you the reason. The reason was something like that. The user were into the rig, right, into the deep sea, and they were having kind of network challenges. So as and
Yeah,
when they used to get a time, they used to interact with the application and they used to perform their all the kind of activities and operations. But then we were
yeah,
not able to track that one. So if you can provide any kind
yeah.
of input or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, in that case, we actually I showed you, right? In the browser, we have indexed DBs, and we also have the local storage. Using this, we can store that information here. When we come online, we can able to push such data information back to the servers, so that we can able to achieve with this storages, where it will create the local storage, with these functionalities. So we have enabled for one of the app, but I can't share it here, right? It's a public forum. So
Okay.
so we have actually enabled that using these local storage and index DBs. We have enabled that.
Okay. So maybe, I mean, we were doing some change. We were doing some kind of not doing the proper configuration because the data were getting pushed, right? Whenever we are sending any data to the backend application or something, it was getting pushed and saved properly. But then the user interaction, whoever the user were getting fallout in between or not doing the complete journey, right? So we were not able to capture that. But then I will check it out that way.
So
But
if
then
it
this
is
is the way
like
I
a
mean.
external,
Uh-huh.
if you're actually using external applications like
Yeah,
third-party applications,
yeah.
then it would not be happen, because those will read the data directly from that. Maybe we can, what we can do, we can create some data,
Mhm.
within these using these storages, and we can push that, interactions back to that applications. That is the one option that we can try with them, if they support that one. Um, but yeah, I think if it is third party, I think it would be
Yeah, yeah. I
tough to
mean, it
do.
was
I'll
third
check
party. It
and get
was,
back. Yeah, I'll
yeah,
check and get
it was
back
kind
on
of
that.
Adobe Analytics. Yeah, yeah. Adobe.
I see some questions. Okay. What functionality generally I don't support using offline? I think we just spoke. I think the user interactions, that would be tough. Anything that we are actually getting from the, which we send data to the third party applications, like, which they read, that won't be happening. But if you have any data that we storing for the database information or anything like that, those can be done. Again, API calls and all won't work. Uh, but if I have any database interactions that we have the data stored, because that's what I mentioned, right? We have some of the tools, right? Like calculators or product finders and all those information, we have the static content, and we can able to get those static information. uh, Using that, we can able to do that. But any fresh content, yeah, that would be have a limitation to this. How secure PW apps in offline mode, as it is stored data in local device, which can be easily manipulated? See, because see, correct, but actually it is actually the user that actually using it, right? So we are actually not doing anything here. See, basically, when you keep these things, right? So basically, we will be making it for the some of the business teams, and you see, it is actually made it for only in the case of internal team resource when they're actually using it. See, because when we people are using it, we can't handle anything, right? Like because if you look at IRCTC website, also they have the PW enable. It won't work in offline mode. Okay, so similar way we have something like that, we have some tools. Okay, in that case only we will do that. There are chances to manipulate it, but how we can encrypt the data and to store it, that is the option to make it more secure when we storing the data in the local storage. Is it work as a browser extension? If I open some website from different browser and download and install, will it tap off a different browser with a different browser? No, suppose if you're actually open this app and install through Chrome, it will only show it. But when you open it in Edge, it won't show it up. For that to have it for all the work, we have to because this is a worker file which is stored in Chrome, not in the this one. Because when you install that app, that actually interacts with this Chrome service worker, then only so that has the linkage between that. So then that suppose if you're actually installing for this Chrome, then it will communicate to this browser, and based on that, it will try to communicate with this. Then only it will have the acknowledge that it is actually for this server. So if you are open in one, in the other browser, it won't support it. We have to install for default browser for that particular device. We say we can search PWA for to use our client. As I said, right? So we actually, in our case, we actually have that, calculators. So we wanted to enable some of the calculators and name finders we have. So those kind of things that we wanted to make it enable to the business. So for that purpose, we wanted to make it enable to them because they always can't open, right? Because we actually having multiple websites to each and every region. So each and every when you click on any general website, it will take you to the general like global website. So we have a different website for each and every country, and all these things will be used by the business team. So we wanted to make it easy for them. With a click, they can able to open the app and they're able to access our calculators using that PWAs. Okay. Can you explain how user behavior is tracked in a progressive web app? I think we already spoke, Praveen. In case of multilingual website, will it cache content for each language for visited? Yeah, this I have not tried, but I think it should support it. That I don't think there is any issue here. Um, it should be able to support that. That I don't see any issue here. But I think we can try. But I did not check this one. Um, but what are we doing it for the specific to a client, but not the multilingual website for the same website? I did not check. But we did enable for multi-site, but not for the same site with multilingual. I did not check for that. So I think it should support. I don't see any issues. Uh, because actually we are. I'll tell you the reason why it will not do problem. Because if you see here, right, in the file, we're actually giving anything of starting with slash, because anything that's starting with domain name slash, it will take, whether it is like uh, subdomains of that. I think it should take. I don't think any issue, but yeah, I need to check on that. We have not tried that. That's all I have. We have questions here. Thanks, Eva. I think it's a good session. If anyone have any questions, I think please ask. Over to you, Rohan. Hello.
Looks Rohan is not there. So
Yeah.
it it was a great session. And if I think we don't have any more questions, so yeah, we can drop and have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah. Thanks
Thank you,
everyone for
Sudhir.
joining.
Thank you, Sudhir, for this session. Thank you. Bye bye.